Hi, I'm Dan, Senior Pastor at LifePoint. Thank you and welcome to LifePoint Online. The church, though, is a whole lot more than a video. It's a family. And we would love you to connect with us. And if you'd like to, send an email to hello@lifepoint.org.au. Or if there's anything that you'd like prayer for, we would just love to pray for you. So send a prayer request to prayer@lifepoint.org.au. Just get in contact. We'd love to hear from you. We hope you have a fantastic day today and you enjoy LifePoint Online. It's all going to be starting really soon. Thanks.
Hey, welcome to LifePoint Church Online. It's so great to be with you here today. If it's your first time connecting with us, a special welcome to you. We'd love to connect further with you. There is an email address, hello@lifepoint.org.au that you can connect with. If you want to hear any more information about the church or get connected in with a small group, we'd love to hear more from you. So today we've got an awesome service. I just wanted to share just really quickly at the start a verse that I've been thinking about that's really encouraged me this week, and it comes from Isaiah chapter 26, and it says, "You keep in perfect peace those who keep their eyes fixed on you because they trust in you." And what an encouragement to us in a time where you might not be feeling super peaceful, that we can keep our eyes upon Jesus and trust him, and that he will give us that perfect peace. So just some quick news and updates for you, some things that are happening in the life of our church coming up soon. So we have our Authentic Manhood course. I'm not going to personally be a part of it, but I heard it's going to be incredible. We've got Jace and Nath heading that up. So if you want to get involved with that course, there's still time to register. You can head to the LifePoint app or just email hello@lifepoint for some more details about that course. Otherwise, guys, opportunity this week to give and to continue to give. We've been really blessed by the generosity of the church through this season. So if you want some more information about that, there should be a slide on the screen now. And finally, it is our last week of the Acts 2 challenge. And this one was a challenging challenge for many of us, to give away something to someone else in need, or to sell something we own and give that money to someone in need. So guys, there's still time. If you feel there's something on your heart that you'd love to give to bless someone else, we'd love to hear even some more stories of what has been given, some of the great stories that have come out of this Acts 2 challenge. So if you've got an awesome story of something that you've been able to give away, or someone else has been able to give it away, we'd love to hear more about that at hello@lifepoint. So we're really excited now. We're going to go into our third week of our series, Apprentice, Don't Settle for Christian. We're really excited to have our senior pastor, Dan, share a message with us today. So strap in, get your popcorn for an amazing message today.
Hey guys, welcome to part 3 of our series, Apprentice, Don't Settle for Christian, where we're inviting you to become a follower of Jesus, a disciple, an apprentice of Jesus, not just someone that calls themselves a Christian. Because Jesus never actually asked anyone to become a Christian. He asked people to follow him. Last week, Jason Perkins did an awesome job, if you want to go check out part 2 if you haven't seen it, of saying what it means to follow the lifestyle of Jesus, not just the lessons of Jesus, actually following him the way he lived his life and being with him, and not trying to do the good things that he said, because actually they are tied together. You can't really do one without the other. And today, I'm going to talk about a really simple and practical way to actually, in 2020, restructure your actual schedule to be a little bit more like Jesus' schedule. We're trying to get practical today. The closest I've ever come to an apprenticeship was when I was a painter's labourer for only a few weeks. I definitely didn't last. And I was actually working for a relative of mine, and I got the job. He said, "Hey, you want some work in the holidays?" I said, "Yes." He's like, "Great, I'll pick you up tomorrow." And I'm like, "Fantastic, I'll get picked up for work." He said, "Rightio, I'll see you at 5 o'clock. And I'm like, "Great." "What? Excuse me?" He's like, "Yeah, 5 o'clock, 5 a.m. I'm like, what? Is there something special? Why are we meeting so early? Why would I get up that early? He's like, "Well, that's when we start, mate. We've got to be on the job site by 5:30 and get set up, and then by 6 we're painting." And I'm like, okay. I was a uni student, or I think I was even in late high school at the time, and getting up at like 10 a.m. in my holidays was about the right time. That was too early. So 5 a.m. start for me was completely different. And it was really hard for me. I didn't actually last, to be honest. In that stage of my life, I was like, I don't think I want to get up this early ever again. Little did I know I'd be a parent later and have to do it all the time. But at that stage, I had to come to terms with the fact that you can't become a master at something. You can't follow someone. You can't become an apprentice without actually changing your schedule, without changing your lifestyle. If I was going to become a painter, I was going to get better at becoming a painter, I need to change my life to go to bed when a painter goes to bed, to wake up when a painter wakes up, to pack my lunch the way a painter packs their lunch, so that when I'm actually there, then I can learn the lessons. It's like what Jason was saying last week. In order to learn the lessons, we need to change our lifestyle. And we know this is how life works. Like if you want to become a good soccer player, you have to do the kind of things that good soccer players would do. If you want to learn the piano, you'd have to do the kind of things that piano players have to do. Like your lifestyle has to revolve around practicing and playing and holding your hands and your body a certain way, actually posturing yourself to be the same as maybe the person you're trying to learn from, your master. So, for apprentices of Jesus, I think sometimes we can just miss this point. We can think, oh, well, for Christians or for people that want to follow Jesus, that don't want to settle for just being a Christian, we just think, oh, well, we don't have to, our lifestyle doesn't have to look like Jesus's. We can actually just learn some things sitting in a row, hearing a few good points, and then we just try and apply them. But Jesus knew that didn't work. That's why he went up to people and he actually said, Matthew 9:9, he says to Matthew, sitting at a tax collector's booth, he says, follow me. Change your schedule, change your life, and actually come and follow me. And Matthew became his apprentice. Let me put something to you, okay? I want you to remember this. If you've got a notepad or something, write this one down. To do what Jesus did, we must live as Jesus lived. To do what Jesus did, we must live as Jesus lived. 1 John 2, verse 6 says, whoever claims to live in him must live as Jesus did. Now, I don't want to get too literal, okay? We can take this too far because we don't live in the first century, okay? We're not apprentices to a rabbi that's here somewhere in Palestine. Like, that's not our culture. That's not our context. That's not what Jesus has put us in today. So what does that look like right now? What would it look like for you tomorrow to change your life, to live as Jesus lived? We're going to look at that today and next week, over the next 2 weeks, about what it looks like to change your rhythms, to follow Master Jesus. So I'm going to get my teacher on now and look at some of the rhythms in Jesus' life. In one passage, especially in Luke 6, and we're going to look how Jesus lived a pattern that put all of his life in balance. Check this out in verse 12. One of those days, Jesus went out to a mountainside to pray and spent the night praying to God. A huge part of Jesus' life, which I find really interesting considering, he was God himself, but a huge part of his life, a huge part of his rhythm was time with the Father. All through, if you read through the book of Luke especially, you'll see constantly it says Jesus goes away. He goes to the mountainside. He goes to the garden. He goes to be alone with the Father. He has time of relationship and communion, especially almost one-on-one with God. We're going to call that he goes up. And then you see the next part of his rhythm. When the morning came, I'm assuming he's really tired by this time, he called his disciples to him and chose 12 of them, whom he also designated apostles. So kind of his special in crowd. It names them now. There's Simon, his brother Andrew, James, John, Philip, Bartholomew, Matthew, Thomas, James, son of Alphaeus, Simon, who was called the Zealot, Judas, son of James, and Judas Iscariot. So it lists these people. These are his in crowd. These are his friends. These are his followers. These are the people that not only is he trying to lead them, but he also goes to them for companionship and friendship and to train them and equip them as well. So this is his in. He spent time up with the Father. He spent time in with his people. And then, after that, verse 17, he went down with them and stood on a level place. A large crowd of his disciples was there, and a great number of people from all over Judea, from Jerusalem, and from the coastal regions around Tyre and Sidon, who had come to hear him and to be healed of their diseases. Those troubled by impure spirits were cured, and the people all tried to touch him because power was coming from him and healing them all. So then he spends time with those in need, with those who need God's love, those who need healing, those who just want to hear some truth. He actually went out. And this is the rhythm we see time and time again from Jesus. He's all through the Gospels. We see, how did he actually live? What was his life actually like? And he always went up, he went in, and he went out. And he had them. I'm going to draw a little triangle here. If you've ever heard of this rhythm before, it's often called the balanced triangle. And it's just a way to think about, what is your life like? What does your schedule look like? What are you actually doing day to day in your work, with your family, when you're in your commute, talking to friends on the weekends? How have you structured your life? Would it be possible for you to structure it more like Jesus? Time up with God. This is, prayer, reading the Bible, worship, maybe even, coming to a church service or a tiny church or a gathering where you're actually there, focused especially on God. Time in, where you're with the family of God, you're with other Christians, you're with your best friends, you're with those who understand you, those who get you, those who are part of the believers, who have the same, when it comes down to it, the same core beliefs, the same core values to say, yes, we're following Jesus too. And out, those who are not inside the church, those who need to hear the good news, or those who are needy, those who are poor, those who just people you work with, that just you want to share God's love with. Up, in, and out. And what probably is going on, if you're anything like me, is that in your life, everyone is a little bit weighted or has a tendency and a preference for one of these areas, or maybe even two of these areas. And that's good, because all of these are really important, amazing areas of what it means to follow Jesus. But if we get out of balance, we can start to live an unhealthy lifestyle, and we might find that we're not growing to become more like Jesus. Like people that just think it's all about prayer and worship, and that's the main thing. And if we just did that more, if we just spent more time praying, spent more time with God, spent more time in reading the Bible, then everything will be fixed. Maybe that's you. Maybe you're thinking, if we just had more community, if we just had more, fellowship is a very Christian word, fellowship, but, time with people, loving intimacy, more sharing, more helping each other out. If the community was loving each other more, then everything would be okay. Maybe that's how you think. Or maybe you think, man, what's with this stuff? This is all just so self-centered. We need to be out loving people. We need to be on mission. We need to be helping the needy. We need to be telling people about God's love. We need to be out there practically living out our faith. If we did more of that, then everything would be okay. And each of us has a different preference. I want you to consider for a second what your preference is. Which way do you go normally? Which way do you go, if we just had more of that? And in some ways, you need to push into that. God's given you a gifting. He's given you a passion. And whatever it is that you're passionate about, I'm glad that you're part of this greater LifePoint community, because we actually need all of you to make up a healthy church. But the problem is, if we become the kind of church, or you become the kind of person that, just so we focus on, these two, we're just going up and we're just going in. Well, that's a dying church. It sounds really good, it feels really good, but it's actually dying, because we're not going out. And Israel's whole problem from the very beginning is that they did this. They did lots of worship, and they did lots of, community and being with each other, and they forgot that the whole purpose of Israel was to be a blessing, a light to the nations. Or maybe we might just be a community like this. We're just going up and we're just going out. And that means, I call that event Christianity. You know what I mean? There's no community, there's no love. It's just about trying to get out there and do good things and praying about God doing it. And we forget the fact that Jesus said, by your love for one another, everyone will see you're my disciples. Or maybe we'll go this way and just be in and out. That's kind of social activism. That's called a club. That's trying to do really good things and missing the fact that the power of God is what drives us. And God is the only way we're actually going to see fruit in whatever it is that we're doing for him. What does that look like in your life? You can't become a Jesus follower. You can't try and follow the master Jedi Jesus, like I was talking about a couple of weeks ago, without actually changing your schedule. So what are you going to do tomorrow? Which one is God calling you to push into to maybe balance up the triangle of your life a little bit more? I just want to leave that with you. Consider that. Have a think about it. Maybe talk to someone about it and just share, hey, how's your up in out going? Here's how I'm going. That'd be an awesome question for us to ask each other all the time. How's your up in out? How's your actual rhythms going to follow the lifestyle of Jesus? Let me pray for you. Thank you, Lord, that you showed us not just what to do, but how to do it. I pray that we can be with you, and in being with you, we can follow your rhythms, these life-giving rhythms that you set for a healthy, balanced life that's not only good for us, but is fruitful and good for our world. So Jesus, show us the way, convict us on what we need to actually change in our diaries, who we need to make room for, whether that's you, whether that's our Christian brothers and sisters, or whether that is the world. Amen.
Thanks so much, Dan, for another encouraging message for us this week. I'll definitely be thinking about my up and my in and my out and how I can bring those together in balance. But now, guys, we are wrapping up the service today. Thank you so much for joining us here online for Life Point Church Online. We'd love to connect with you a little bit further. You can head to our website in the links below. Otherwise, just email the address that was on the screen earlier. But now we'd love to just close up with a new song, Hills and Valleys, where we're going to spend some time looking up to God and worshiping Him together. Thanks. See you next time.
Among the shadows, you wiped my tears away. I felt the pain of heartbreak, I've seen the brighter days, and I've prayed prayers to heaven from my lowest place. I have held the blessings God you give and take away, and no matter what I have, our grace is enough. And no matter where I am, I'm standing in your love. On the mountains I will bow my life to the one who sent me there. In the valley I will lift my eyes to the one who sees me there. When I'm standing on the mountain, I didn't get there on my own. When I'm walking through the valley, I know I am not alone. You're the God of the hills and valleys, hills and valleys, God of the hills and valleys, and I am not alone, not alone. I watch my dreams get broken, in you I hope again. No matter what, I know I'm safe inside your hand. On the mountains I will bow my life to the one who sent me there. In the valley I will lift my eyes to the one who sees me there. When I'm standing on the mountain, I didn't get there on my own. When I'm walking through the valley, I know I am not alone. You're the God of the hills and valleys, hills and valleys, God of the hills and valleys, and I am not alone. Father, you give and take away every joy and every pain. Through it all you will remain, over it all. Father, you give and take away every joy and every pain. Through it all you will remain, over it all. On the mountains I will bow my life. In the valley I will lift my eyes. Oh, on the mountains I will bow my life to the one who sent me there. In the valley I will lift my eyes to the one who sees me there. When I'm standing on the mountain, I didn't get there on my own. When I'm walking through the valley, I know I am not alone. You're the God of the hills and valleys, hills take away every joy and every pain. Through it all you will remain. Over it all, Father, you give and take away every joy and every pain. Through it all you will remain. Over it all, the mountains are about my life, to the one who set me there. In the valley I will lift my eyes to the one who sees me there. When I'm standing on the mountain, I didn't get there on my own. When I'm walking through the valley, I know I am not alone. The God of the hills and valleys, hills and valleys, God of the hills and valleys, I am not alone.